Hey friends, welcome to Gunny Moto. My really good friend Curt Price drove all the way from northeastern Oklahoma to Gunnison, Colorado to see what the fuss was all about. He rented a motorcycle and we had a long weekend of really fun rides. This is one of those rides, and although I compressed it down a lot, it's still an hour-long video, and I'm posting the full length really for Curt so that he can enjoy it. I'm going to make a shorter version, but this is the ride. We went up Lost Canyon, then we took the 1 mile route, dropped into Taylor Canyon, went up to Taylor Park, went to the north end of Taylor Park, and then took the cut through that goes to Spring Creek Reservoir. Followed that all the way back down to Taylor Canyon and back to Gunnison. It's about a 100-mile route, and it's 2/3 off-road. We had a fun time. Hope you enjoy.
So that's Curt Price. We're on the road, Lost Canyon Road, heading into the forest road that we're going to take today. It started getting pretty, so I turned on the camera. So we started at 7,700 feet. We're going to top out today at about 10.5, 10.7, almost 11 on this stretch. But then we're going to probably do some high passes a little later on this afternoon that'll get us up to probably 12,000. So today is about August 21st, I think. And here's what you need to know about August. It's a good time to ride because the snow plugs that block a lot of the high passes usually have melted out by August. There's some years they don't melt out at all, but this year they did. And some years they melt out a little earlier by July sometime. But this year, a lot of them did not clear until the beginning of August, first week of August, something like that. But, that said, when the snow's off the peaks, they don't look as pretty to me. And the wildflowers are past their prime in August, and the aspen haven't turned golden and lovely like they do the second half toward the end of September. So, I always feel like August is the least beautiful month of the year in Colorado. It's still gorgeous. But so many things are so beautiful, you know, in June and July when there's still snow on the peaks and the flowers are at the peak, but you can't always get through the passes. And then the snow starts coming again towards the end of September or October, and it just gets lovely again. So it's always lovely, but so what you should know about Curt is that he has a lot of experience on the streets, and he owns street bikes and has done a lot of that. As a kid, he rode, you know, off-road a bit on some sort of an enduro, I think. But this trip to Colorado is his first time in the dirt for quite a while, and he's on a motorcycle that he rented that he had never ridden before. So anyway, it's kind of fun because he's testing. He's doing an excellent job. He's really doing a great job, but he's testing his dirt skills that he hasn't used for a very long time. And this is going to be a good test. This road is not horrible, but he missed it. Went right past the turn. I thought he might. He'll come back in a minute. So the first part of this road, it's riding really well now. It's pretty dry and not muddy like it is earlier. But getting down off of this hill, this shoulder, you go through some rocky stuff where it's washed out a little bit. We've not ridden anything quite that bony yet this trip, so it'll be fun to see how Curt likes it. lot of erosion control humps, which are also fun. Let's try it. Curt's on the Honda CFR300 Rally, which is a much loved bike, I think, by a lot of people. Very popular. He rented it for the weekend, and it is a very capable, well-balanced little machine, and he's had a ball on it. It's got enough for what we're doing, but it's underpowered. For someone that has more experience, you're going to want more punch. They'd just be more playful if it had more punch. And the other thing is that it has soft suspension, and it's a fairly low bike, but it's just right for Curt because his inseam's not as long as mine. But for me, it actually feels too small. We were talking yesterday about how sore our bums are getting because we're sitting in the saddle so much. And the truth is, we should be on our pegs more. But I've got an injured foot, so it's hard for me to stand up much. And he's sitting out of habit because he's been on the highway for too many years. We'll see if this bony section down here will get him out of the saddle or not. This is my favorite kind of riding. Got rocks, ruts, often mud. Steep hills, sandy patches. You can't just cruise it. You gotta be intentional and enjoy it. Takes enough skill to make it fun. You can probably tell the CFR300 is geared slower than my DRZ400, and so he can go a lot slower in granny gear without lugging. And that's kind of what makes that bike work. While it's slightly underpowered, it has 6 gears, and so it has a nice torquey first and second gear, but it still has enough high end that it can go highway speeds without tacking out the motor too much. I mean, it's not going to go 80. Well, it probably could, but you wouldn't want to. You can do 65. And we've been really surprised at the fuel economy on the thing. He's using about half as much fuel as I am. Nice bony section. You're on camera. Okay. Go ahead. Great steep hill coming up. There's no way to show you on the GoPro how steep it is. Take my word for it. It is a no stop zone. We'll see what happens. cleans it.
That was rugged. That was a little rugged.
Yeah, that's the loosest uphill.
Yeah.
There are a couple more that are steep, but they're sandy, which is not necessarily better.
Not necessarily. Well, that was a loose, but it was okay. I only had one jump where I really racked myself good. And I was like, oh, that was not good.
Fun road, huh?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Really fun.
It was really fun. All right. That happens all the
This is steep enough down that I'm not sure you could stop if you wanted to. You just slide. Earlier in the year, it ends in a very, very muddy, boggy section, but it's pretty dry now. Go. Uh-oh. See how that turned out. That's a no stop zone. You can't stop because then you find yourself in trouble. Oh, he's down. Are we all good?
problem here is, you want me to get it down? Or turn facing downhill or what?
Go down and start again.
Yeah, go down and start again. I'm nice and tall, so I can reach all this stuff. See, and here's the thing, I am too short for that bike. You want me to ride it down, or you want to ride it down? I think I can ride it down. Huh? I think I can ride it down. Okay. You can hold it while you want. Yeah. Break. Go down there, take a breather, and then hit again. You're in gear.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. He tumbled right in front of me.
Really? I saw he's about
Started
to.
out and then went downhill that way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it fell the wrong way.
Like, I got it. Like, no, that's an uphill push.
That's hard. Yeah, well, thank you. You good with yours?
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay, Kurt, you gotta tell me the story. You're on candid camera.
Oh my gosh. Well, part of the problem here is being too short for the bike.
Oh.
So I kicked over to my left leg to steady.
Nothing there.
There was nothing there.
Yeah.
And so, zip, down I went. But then it killed it. I mean, it just,
Oh, then you're hosed.
yeah, and so there's nothing I could do. It was just dead. And in fact, I didn't really get started until just now. So, we'll see. Can we do that again? Hopefully
You know,
not the same way.
maybe go up the left leg instead of the right.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is, you can't really put your feet down on that. You're just gonna have to keep your momentum. You don't have to go fast, but don't go slow.
Yeah, it was, I was losing momentum and I wanted to really switch to the left. But when I put my foot over there, there wasn't anything there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know, man. Feet on the pegs, lean over the bars a little bit, keep your torque up, and have fun.
let's see if we can do it.
What the heck? Now mine doesn't want to start. Well, at least I get to watch him try. He's already past where he had his problem the first time. There's another little steep pitch, but he's out of the woods. Yeah, man. Now, what's going on with mine? Probably hot. Little vapor lock or something. More gooder. It is deep. He's coming back. Checking on me this time. It didn't want to start right away, but then it did. I think a little vapor lock or something. This is another downhill that you can't stop on. He'll figure that out in a minute. It's one thing he noted about his motorcycle is that if he tries to downshift where he doesn't have great traction, look at him sliding away. Ooh, we need. But if he tries to downshift, the low end gears are so torquey that it'll kick his back end out. cruised it. Just in time to see him go through the mud hole. This ride has a little bit of everything. Erosion control humps are kind of a pain in a Jeep, but on a motorcycle they're just a blast. You know, in a Jeep you can't see over the hood and you don't want to make sure it's not washed out. You don't know if there's a big boulder in the road. You have to just ease over them, but on a motorcycle you stand up and you see everything. Now we're going to get to the sandy steep hill. Little wet weather stream down here, which is mostly dried out right now, and then you face some up. The hard part of this hill for me is that my back tire likes to kick out because I've got bars on the tread instead of knobs, individual knobs. It's kind of paddle tread, which slides sideways like crazy. Up steep. There he goes. See if I can catch him. And here we go again.
Got a good 18 inches of tail kick there.
by the way, the way for that not to happen is to stand up, number one. Number two, you can goose it on the uphill a little bit and kind of get the front tire in the air on the backside. But what you really need to do, which you don't even have to pop a wheelie or anything for, is just stand up and let your body be smooth. Let the bike go up and down and your body floats above it. And it kind of makes you weightless. And so the suspension on the bike doesn't have to carry your weight and the weight of the bike. It's just the weight of the bike, and it handles it much better. And then also, you're not going to get thrown forward when the back seat kicks forward when your rebound's a little too hot, which is what happened to Curt just then. His rear suspension compressed really well because he weighted up the back of the bike, and then when it released at the top of the hump, it turned into a trampoline. So you just stand up, let the bike do what it's going to do, and you float, just like that. Float. He's cruising this section. This is so steep. And here comes the Jeep. Oh, it's side by side. 3 more. Understand that hand signal. It's supposed to be a 1. It showed us either a 0 or a 3. That's a 0. Thanks, man. Dogs. Another steep one, but this is not as bad as the last one. I've never gone right. If you want to explore, it's a dead end, so I don't know how far, maybe a mile up there. If you want to explore, we do that. Otherwise, this is the way I know.
Oh, I'm in front.
What?
I'm in front, right?
Sure.
So this one is the one that will take us further on our trip.
Yeah. Get Curt to take a break. I don't think he's going to see me. Ooh, steep, steep. He saved it. Take a break. Don't think you heard me. Such a fun ride. Really fun ride. You know, I took Curt on stuff that's actually worse than this the other day, but it was short. He's getting a lot more of it now.
Well,
there it is.
there it is.
You're almost done.
That was beyond my skill level.
You know, I just said into the camera here, what you did the other day is actually worse, but it was short. This is more of it. It's more constant. You were killing it though. That was great.
It was great fun, and it was, you know, after I rolled halfway down the hill, I was like, well, hey, nothing broken. This flash will be fine.
Well, let's look at the view for a second.
Oh man, check that out. Is that beautiful? That is beautiful. Now, what's that road down there?
That's where you're going.
Is it?
Okay, we took a break. We're really out of the woods. Curt said he thought this was above his skill level, and it's not. This is at his learning level, is what I told him. He's doing a great job. So now we're going to go down this little creek bottom. Tight little bit bony. So something else funny is when we stopped right there, looked at my rear tire, I have lost probably a 1/4 inch of tread in the last 2 days. Probably saw I got in the rut. Kind of did that on purpose, but when you get in a rut, stay in the rut. It's when you try to get out of the rut, your bike's going to throw you sideways. You're going to go tumbling. You get in a rut, just ride it. It's okay. You'll have an out somewhere. Going in on purpose again. So the tread on my rear tire is almost gone. It's time to replace it, which is good. I want a new one. I never loved that one anyway. And now I can say I didn't waste a tire. But I don't have nearly as much traction as I did, especially side to side. So on these steep, kind of sandy berms, I just kind of slide off. Which this tire always did, but now it's doing it worse. I love the shade down here. It's cooler, even though it's not hot anywhere. You have a breeze, but the sun is really warm. Get down here in this little creek bottom with the shade and refreshing. Here's a little story about going downhill. Last week, I went on an evening ride on some roads I'd not been on before. And learned an important lesson. You guys that are much better riders than me will laugh. But I got to a super steep downhill. I mean, steeper than anything today. The only way you can go down these downhills is to just kind of roll them. You don't want to roll them for too far though, because you get going too fast. So I hit my rear brake pretty hard, and I was engine braking at the same time. Well, I locked up the back tire, which stalled the engine, of course, and I was in first gear. And the torque on this motor is strong enough that the tire just slid. There's no way it's gonna. Anyway, so the rear tire started sliding, and There was a part of me that was kind of glad because it was braking for me, but there's another part of me that said I would rather have a controlled brake than a slide. And it was on a kind of an off-camber berm, so that rear end kicked out. And I ended up sliding down this steep hill with the rear end almost perpendicular to the slope for 150 yards or more. I should have just pulled in the clutch, probably. We are in the north end of Taylor Park. This area back here is so popular with people from out of state, mostly, who come with their side-by-sides and their Polarises and their Razors. And they can also rent them here, but it's just really, really popular among those people. So lots of RVs and all these off-road vehicles everywhere. But we went far enough up, baby heads, we went far enough up that we kind of got away from that part of it. It's a beautiful valley, of course. We're in now the Sawatch range, which has a ton of 14ers in it, very tall range, and even more 13ers. This road is a side road that we saw on the map. I've never been on it. And what it does is it goes up a creek drainage to a turnaround point up here in a little basin higher up in the valley. And it actually is one of these rare places where there's a wilderness area which does not allow any motorized vehicles or machines of any sort, not even a bicycle. Oh, fun. That looks like tumblers.
I'm going no.
Nope.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
What do you think?
Tell you what, I'm thinking probably not. But let me go past this one section,
okay.
And if it's all like that, then it's no. But if it's only this 50 yards, we can walk through it, and
yeah. Okay.
Odds are it's all like that. This kind of loose rock is a royal pain on two wheels. It's just going to keep being more and more of it. I mean, I can ride it, but what I started to say, loose rocks, crazy. Is that enough of an answer?
That's probably the answer, yeah.
So this road is legal for motorized vehicles to go a few miles up, and it's wilderness on all sides. And I was really curious about it, but today's not the day. I think I'm tired, Curt's tired, and we've spent our adventure energy for the day, maybe. Might be a way to say it. So it might be more fun to try a less bony road. Yeah, we've been at this for several hours, and we haven't gone that far, but it's been some challenging riding. And that happens on these forest roads a lot. They're mostly just rock with sand. I mean, that's what the Rockies are. And then especially if you're going up a creek drainage, because the water that comes down washes anything that would hold the rocks together away, and you're just left with these baby heads and cobblestones and boulders that are tumbling, and they're not even fixed. So every time you hit one, it tries to throw your bike. It goes one way and your bike goes the other. But now we know. I believe that this road, if you do it the right way, you can get to Aspen. I think. It looks like there's a little bit that may be closed at the top to keep people from doing that, but then I see other people that say it's open, so it's mixed reviews. There's also a road that goes back toward Crest. There's actually two roads that go back toward Crested Butte. But it's late enough, going on an unknown road could be more adventure than we're asking for, so it might be time to bug out. We've had a good day. We'll see if Curt needs some help.
I was stuck. I was like,
it's at 2 inches.
yeah.
Why don't we nose into the road that said to Gunnison and see what it's like? And that might be fun. Otherwise, we'll just meander home. Okay. Even this road, which is just a dirt road, but it's really sandy, and there's a lot of loose sand and rock that builds up between the tire tracks. And if you get on that stuff, especially if you need to turn, this is the kind of conditions that can surprise you in a heartbeat, for sure. And there goes Curt. I'll let him get a head start. So we're still in Taylor Park, obviously, but this road goes to Spring Creek, and then it pops back out in Taylor Canyon near Harmel's. And I know the other side of it. I haven't been on this side, but I suspect it's going to be pretty decent. So it'll be a diversion for us to go this way instead of back the way we came and enjoy some new scenery. so nice. Reservoir. So I've never been to this reservoir. I have not been to this. And I thought, might as well see it since we're here. Yeah. There are a lot of roads up here that I have never been on. I think I found a new playground I need to explore. So that mountain that I wanted to see disappeared. We got in under these hills and can't see it.
Huh.
Maybe from over there we'd see it, I don't know.
That's a beautiful, beautiful view right there. It looks like it's down quite a bit from what it might otherwise be.
You know, this could almost be the Appalachians, except the trees are the wrong kind of trees.
Yeah.
It looks like Montana or Idaho, because the big peaks are kind of hidden right here.
Yeah, they are. You can't really see it. In fact, it's the only place you can see above the tree line.
Yeah, one tall peak.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of roads that go different places through here, so I think I'm going to have to come back over here and explore them all.
I think so.
So what that is, the difference between turning around on a bike that's a little too tall for you and turning around on a bike that you can flat foot.